As I believe I've shared in other videos, it has been just a little over 2 years ago now since my husband went home to be with the Lord. I remember when we were engaged, the day we got engaged, waiting for our wedding, how excited we both were. We would talk on the phone late into the night. Any time that we weren't working, we were either talking or together. We were inseparable. That's the way it should be. When you're in love, when you're waiting to be married, you're a bride to be, a bridegroom to be. That's what the church is right now. The bride of Christ awaiting her bridegroom. And yet, most of the church is not only not watching for the bridegroom, but really doesn't want to hear about it. I was online this morning trying to verify some information on a video that I saw last night in the middle of the night. I was reading some rabbinical writings concerning the coming of Messiah because I had heard something that it wasn't completely true, so I'm not going to share it. But I did find something that I thought was very telling, written by a rabbi, and of course in speaking of Messiah, they say Moshiach, but I will substitute Messiah. It's just a paragraph, and this is what it says. It is not sufficient to merely believe in the coming of Messiah. It is also of primary importance to await his arrival. For it is clear that one who does not yearn for Messiah's arrival is demonstrating a lack of belief, too. Is it conceivable for one to believe that such a magnificent era will indeed be arriving and not eagerly await that day? Is it conceivable that the bride of Christ doesn't want to talk about the coming of her bridegroom? Doesn't want to talk about the marriage supper of the Lamb? Doesn't want to talk about going to the Father's house? Doesn't want to talk about when Jesus will fulfill what he said in John 14. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, you may be also. The Lord's promise to return for his bride, his children, to take us to the Father's house. And yet most of the bride of Christ, the body of Christ, those who proclaim to be followers of Christ, don't want to talk about it and don't want to hear about it. In fact, they mock those of us who do. And what's wrong with that picture?